Hello everyone, welcome back to Age of Nagash, which channel dedicated to Age of Sigmar, and in this video we're going to be talking about the first preview for the General's Handbook 2019, which the Warhammer community website has just put up now. So just going to read through the little article and talk about the little hints they've put in this article that we can sort of speculate on what is going to be in the new battle tome. So firstly, it says, coming soon, the General's Handbook 2019. So it says, ready your armies, warm up your dice, and get ready for another great year of gaming in the mortal realms. The General's Handbook 2019 is almost upon us. Next week, you'll be able to pre-order this essential guide for gaming, as well as a very special Warlord Edition. Cool, so we'll be able to pre-order it next week. I believe they did say it was June it was coming out. So it's a little bit like, when is it coming out? But no, we've got our date now, so that is all good. So it should hopefully be available from 2 weeks from this weekend or the time recording, so that is cool. And it says the General's Handbook 2019. So this year's General's Handbook is split into two main parts. The handbook itself, which is a guide to gaming in the mortal realms that you'll be using for years, alongside a separate set of pitch battle profiles. Okay, so that's quite interesting. It sounds like they split the book in half. So I've got, there's the standard General's Handbook stuff, and then half it is just like, points and all that sort of thing, which, to be fair, is generally what General Handbooks are, mainly what they have been, like the last one and so, because narrative and open play are played, and narrative is quite fun. However, match play is the most popular, so narratively that's what most of the General's Handbook gets dedicated to. So it says the book is a rich toolbox that will enable you to customize your battles with loads of new content. So it's talking about the 3 different ways you can play. So firstly, start on narrative play. It says narrative gamers will enjoy an extra tactical and thematic depth and bring the cities of the mortal realms to life with new Streets of Death rules, arcane objectives, and rules for raids and ambushes. Inject additional narrative depth into any battle, while a set of new mercenary companies usable in Pitch a Battle 2 let you hire some of the mortal realm's most notorious sellswords to your army, which are including Gargants and Man-Eaters. So Gargants, your giants, and then Man-Eaters are your ogres that you almost feel like they're gut busters, but they're not, because they're like the mercenary type, which they're in like a really tiny, stupid faction. So it's good that you can have them as mercenaries. However, at the moment, I'm not completely sold on the mercenary idea. For some armies. I think for other armies it does work, but for armies that already have like a battle tome out and already have loads of synergies going on, I don't think really gives them anything extra. However, an army like a dispossessed army, for an example, with 2 abhorrent art regents in there from the Flesh Eater Courts, which you can do at this moment in time because they're both 200 points, is something that I can see happening. So yeah, maybe having Man-Eaters and Gargants and what else they are going to announce as mercenaries could be quite good. Okay, and then going into open play. So it says for open play, getting set up and throwing down in the mortal realms will be simpler than ever, thanks to the new battle plan and army generators. Whatever the size of your collection and whatever your gaming space, you'll be able to put together a thrilling battle with a few dice rolls. Okay, that's quite cool, because open play, not gonna lie, yeah, of course, we all played it at the start. Probably that's how you probably got into Age of Sigmar, just whatever models you got, and then you just put it on the table. And I got into Age of Sigmar at the start, so that means that there wasn't any points, so basically it was open play. And I did have some really good games with it, I got good memories of it. However, I'm not really a massive fan of open play for myself anyway, to have games, mainly because I just think it's unbalanced. You don't put points into it, you're always gonna have uneven sides, and I know you can build a narrative around it, but then that's what narrative is, isn't it? Way to play. Open play, I think it's good for beginners. However, with what it's saying here, how you can randomly generate armies, so there'll be, hopefully it means that it will be less off balance, rather than you just bring whatever you think your army should be to the game, and then your opponent does that, and then it turns out you have double the amount of models than your opponent, and then you might throw down a rule that makes it try and make it balanced. But at the same point, why not just try and bring similar sized armies? That's my own opinion about open play, but anyway, so it'll be interesting to see what they mean by that. Okay, then going on to match play. So it says, for match play, you can look forward to loads of new battle plans, offering challenges for tournament players and club knights alike. Other tweaks to pitch are battles and new triumphs, command abilities available to any army, and terrain features, and even more depth and choice to the thriving competitive scene for Warhammer Age of Sigmar. Meanwhile, meeting engagements let you enjoy all the thrills of match play in a fraction of the time and with smaller armies. Okay, so firstly going through that, so new battle plans, yeah, that's cool. We expected that though. If the German Handbook didn't have any battle plans in it for match play, I'd be like, why isn't there any? So yes, it's good that we got that. And it says offering new challenges for those battle plans. Yeah, cool. Keeps the scene for tournaments and even just like your local stores, like it says, keeps it fresh. New triumphs, that is interesting because triumphs have always been the same since they have. Well, they haven't always been the same. They've been the same since the first German Handbook, which was if you've got less points than your opponent, you roll a dice. On a 1 to 2, I believe you have the ability to pick a unit once per game, reroll failed hit rolls for that unit for like that combat phase or that shooting phase. Or if you roll a 3 to 4, it's the same, but a wounds, or a 5 to 6, the same, but for saves. So it's quite a nice little thing. It made you think, is it quite good to be like 20 points down or something just to try and get that triumph, and it can really make a difference. So when they say be new triumphs, it'll be interesting to see what tweaks they're doing to it, because it does actually play a big part. The only most important thing you have to do with a triumph is remember to use it, because they are something that you generally do forget continuously all the time. I forget them all the time. Had a game the other day, yesterday, and I forgot about the triumph. However, when you do remember, it can make a big difference. Okay, and then it also says command abilities. So the 3 generic command abilities we will get, I can't remember the names of them apart from Inspiring Presence. So we've got Inspiring Presence, we've got the one that makes you run an automatic 6, and then we've got the one that lets you reroll charge rolls. So those 3 ones, they're good. They're sort of all-rounders. There won't really be a game where they're probably not going to be useful to you, depending on your army, of course. So it'll be interesting to see what ones they're going to add to it. Maybe they're going to add a couple more, so you have 5 to choose from, something like that. That means that if you want to have a hero, but you've got heroes in your army that don't really have command abilities, this will help you with it. I know, like the Indenef Deepkin as an example, and I know they're not the best example because they have got some command abilities from their Killing King that lets you have extra attacks, but if you're not really running that sort of list, they don't have too many. And then of course there's things like Gutbusters don't really have many command abilities as another one, so it's all good for probably most armies, I'd think. And it then says there'll be more sort of features around terrain and stuff, so I imagine that's more terrain abilities. So that'll be like you've got Arcane, Damn, Mystical, Sinister and Inspiring. I believe that was all of them, and Deadly, of course. Maybe there'll be some more on that, so interesting. So it'll no longer be a roll of a d6, it'll be a maybe a higher dice roll, so it'll stop terrain features being, because sometimes when you roll terrain features, a lot of the time it's like, right, so what's this one? I don't know, Mystical, what's this one? Mystical, what's this one? Mystical, what's this one? Arcane, what's this one? Deadly, what's this one? They just repeat themselves a little bit. So it'll be interesting if that stops that. So that'll be cool. And then it says, meanwhile, meeting engagements let you enjoy all the thrills of match play in a fraction of a time and with smaller armies. Okay, so that'll be quite interesting. That might be engagement. So you guys might already know a lot about this more than me, because this might be something to do with 40k, like heroic interventions, something like that maybe, or duels or something between heroes. It'll be interesting to see, or it might just be a sentence they put on the end just to make it sound cool. I don't know. So it'll be interesting to see about that. Right, okay, and then it moves on to the next paragraph of match play. So it says, this year's General's Handbook also contains allegiance abilities for several factions. So with expanded rules for Ironjawz, Seraphon, Wanderers, Darkling Covenant, Free Peoples, Slaves of Darkness, and Dispossessed. If you're looking to make the most of these forces in your games, the book is a must-have. Okay, so I'm a little bit unsure about this when I read this paragraph, because when I say I'm unsure, I don't know if this is good news, because we sort of expected to have these ones in the book. And because we've already got Ironjawz, we've already got Seraphon, we've already got Wanderers, we've already got Darkling Covenants, we've already got Free People, we've already got Slaves of Darkness, and we've already got Dispossessed. Does that mean there's not going to be any other ones in there? We're not getting any new ones? Gutbusters aren't getting their own allegiance? Is that what it means? Git mobs aren't getting their own. Think of one that's not destruction. Order, let's go for Phoenix Temple aren't getting their own. I know that's a bit of an obscure one, but or Temple Serpenters. You would be nice if there were more allegiance abilities for different armies, rather than just saying like all the ones that have already got allegiance abilities will also have allegiance abilities, and they will probably have tiny tweaks to them, which means not much effort. So it's a little bit Little bit sad about that, if I'm honest. Also, the other thing about it is that sort of indicates to me that maybe Ironjaws aren't going to get a new battle tome coming out anytime soon. Seraphon aren't going to get a new battle tome coming out anytime soon. Wanderers aren't going to get a battle tome. Darkened Covens aren't going to get a battle tome. Free Peoples aren't going to get a battle tome. Safe Darkness might not get a battle tome. And Dispossessed might not get a battle tome for a long, long time. Now, it doesn't always mean that, but it sort of is an indicator that if they put effort into making their Legion's ability in this book, they're not going to work too fastly on getting a new book out to them as quick as possible. Or a book, their first one, in some cases. So, and it says it's a must-have. Well, you're going to buy the General's Handbook anyway, aren't you? So, I'm a little bit annoyed, a little bit disappointed. Hopefully this is just saying, like, the ones who are already in the General's Handbook, they will still be there, don't worry. That's sort of like reassurance a little bit. But this might also be like, yeah, we're not really making any other ones for the General's Handbook. What would be a bit sad. So, yeah, not the best news. That's how I'm looking at it anyway. So the next thing it says, for your list writing convenience, all the new pitch battle profiles will be printed separately in a booklet of their own, including the latest points adjustments plus profiles for a number of condemned units and endless spells and terrain. Okay, so they're going to make it a separate booklet so it's easier to read. I didn't really mind flicking through the General's Handbook, if I'm honest. However, if it's more convenient, it's more convenient, isn't it? So that's cool. And then, yeah, when they update points, I'm quite happy how they do it. The last time they did like a little dash next to the unit. If it had been updated, it was very easy to see, very easy to read. So I did like that. However, the most important thing in this paragraph is it says plus profiles for a number of compendium units. Now, does that mean there's going to be points for those compendium units? And if there's points for them, that means you can start taking them in match play. And of course you can do that sort of like Tomb Kings and like Plutonians in it. Yeah, but they might become more viable now in match play, which would be absolutely awesome. Because ever since I have converted a Sisters of Twilight on a Forest Dragon model, just when I made that conversion, the sort of compendium came in and they took away that lovely War Scroll away from me to the point where I've never really used the Forge World conversion I did. So it would be very nice if I could start using that, or that we can see some of the compendium coming back into match play like more often. Would be quite nice. I know Games Workshop wants to go, well, we don't really sell the model anymore, so we don't care. However, they do made to order. They do all these other things, so it would be nice if they made them more viable. And for those people who bought those armies, for how much they ever cost when they were out, and also for the people who have bought Tomb Kings and Bretonnian armies after they went out of production and have sold their kidneys and their children to acquire those armies, would be quite nice for them. And then, yeah, we've got profiles for endless spells and terrain. Cool. But yeah, just saying, for the profiles for the compendium units, they might not have points. And if they don't have points, then it's just going to be really annoying. However, that's all negative speculating, so we won't do that too much. But anyway, moving on, it says the Warlord Edition. So what do you get in this edition? So it says this version of the General's Handbook is packed with exclusive goodies that will come in handy for all your games. A double-sided card token sheet gives you objective markers, Star Strike markers, 9-inch rulers for bringing on units from reserve or through summoning, a Battleshock markers, a Mystic Shield markers, and 24 terrain markers. They'll ensure you'll never accidentally charge into deadly terrain again. Okay, so what do I think of the Warlord Edition? I am a big fan of Warlord Editions. I ordered the Warlord Edition for the 2017 General's Handbook. The reason I didn't order it for the 2018 one is because I also bought Soul Wars and Malign Sorcery Book, and basically I spent quite a lot of money on Age of Sigmar there, where I was like, I can't be justified to spending more to get the better book. However, this is not a new edition of Age of Sigmar. Well, I mean, it's not, you know, a big new box set coming out and all these sorts of things for a new core. Basically, it's not a new core rulebook coming out alongside the General's Handbook this time, so I will be getting the General's Handbook Warlord Edition because of all the extra goodies you get. Yeah, you might go, I think this thing's like double the price or something. You might think, is it worth double the price? It all depends how much you want to put into, you know, gaming and all that sort of thing. Yeah, if you're on a bit of a budget, it's not worth the extra money. However, if you do enjoy your games and do enjoy all little tokens just to make things a bit easier and stuff during the game, I honestly do think it's worth it. That's my opinion, that's why I'll be buying it. And it says, meanwhile, 30 battle plan cards are great for keeping track which missions you're playing, including no fewer than 20 options for your pitch battles, plus a battle plan cards for meeting engagements and narrative play. Yeah, so that's one of the extra goodies you get, like Warlord cards for the battle plans. Really super handy, especially because anyone knows you go to a tournament. If you've been to a tournament, or if you haven't been to a tournament, just your local store, and you're trying to play like, okay, so we're playing in the realms, so we've got the realm spells, we've also got the realm rules, we've got, you know, like my, you know, battle tome out, and all these different things, and then it's like, oh, but I also have to have a page open for the battle plan as well, and it just all becomes quite a lot to sort of keep track of. So it's quite handy when you've just got a card there you can refer to. You can give it to your opponent if they need to like double check what the objective was, and all. It's just a lot easier. And it's one of those things where if you're playing against someone, and they could be new players, could be experienced players, but you know, like, I don't know, the battle plan hasn't been out for long, and you're both trying to work out how it means. It's quite nice when you can say to your opponent, I've got it printed on a card, so it's just nice and easy to refer to, and yeah, it just helps out the game. And yeah, so more battle plans, it's generally saying there, giving a hint again. So yep, that's cool. So the next thing, it says, lastly, 135 small format cards allow you to make full advantage of a number of rules in the book with easy reference for anything from mercenary companies to hidden agendas. However, you play the Warlord Edition promise to make your games that little bit easier to run, but hurry, this edition will only be available online while stocks last. We'll be exploring what this year's General's Handbook means for you throughout the next week with a series of in-depth previews right here, so stay tuned and let us know what you're looking forward to most on the Warhammer Age of Sigmar Facebook page. Okay, and that's the end of the article. Yes, so it's nice, like an extra, you know, those extra cards you get, you know, it just makes things that much easier. And yeah, it's cool. I'd say do that. It does say, you know, while stocks last. That is completely true. This thing might set out quickly, it might not set out quickly. It all depends. If you guys want it, I would suggest, you know, buying it when you can, rather than being disappointed. But it might not sell out straight away. I don't know. I can't guarantee when this thing's selling out. But overall, looking at what we got from this General Handbook, so some good things mentioned here. Some tweaks to open play might make it a bit more interesting for people like myself. Narrative play, getting some more things. Match play is obviously getting the majority of new things. A little bit annoyed about what they've said about what allegiances are going to be in the General's Handbook. It's a little bit disappointing. Nothing new, and what is there is what we've already got. So that means that they might not get an update for a while, other than whatever update they get in the General's Handbook. We get a new battle plans out, which is cool, but for me the coolest thing is hopefully we're going to get points for compendium units. That'll be awesome. Doesn't mean we are getting it. When they say there's a profile coming out, it might not mean we are, but it would be cool, I do think. And yes, I'll be making sure to order my General's Handbook on Saturday. I think it's Saturday, yeah, because it says next weekend, doesn't it? Just double checking. You'll be able to pre-order this essential guide for gaming as well as the very special Warlord Edition next week. Yep, so sounds like next weekend. That'll be cool. I'll be doing that. Like I said, I've just been reading through this article just now for the first time. Yeah, some good things, and also, like they say, they'll be doing previews throughout the week. So you know when they release like an upcoming battle tome or something, and they do like a preview every day, or saying like for the, let's say the Slanesh one, there was like one day I was like, let's look at the allegiance abilities. The next day, let's look at the different you know, God Seekers, Pretenders, and Invaders, and then, you know, like allegiance you can take basically. And then the next one's like, let's have a look at some of their artifacts, and so it just goes on, and that'll be what they'll be doing with this. I'll try and do some videos this week, but I'm going into working at night, which means the majority of the time in the day I'll be sleeping, so I'm going to miss out quite a bit of it, unfortunately. So I'm sure there'll be other YouTubers and stuff who are going to cover it anyway, but I'll do what I can. Okay guys, so that has been just my little take on this article they've done. Like I said, not loads to go on here, but certainly a little nice bit of speculation. So it'd be nice for you guys to tell me your thoughts about it in the comments as well. It'd be absolutely great. And on that note, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. So if you did, please like, subscribe, and comment down below. This massively helped me. If you'd like to support the channel a step further, I've now set up a Patreon account, which is a great way to get some money towards the channel. It really goes towards many things that help me be able to provide content to you guys. And 4 of the patrons we've got at the moment who are Vampire tiers, this is tier 2, so these are people who donate at least $5 a month to me. They are super awesome, as that really, like I say, does help towards the content I can put out to you guys and how much of it I can put out essentially. And these are to Max, Martin, Carl and Simon. So again guys, thank you very much for your help for all these things I've already mentioned and your continued support. And if you can't support me on Patreon, that's absolutely fine. I'm just really happy that you came and watched this video today. Okay guys, so until next time, remember, Nagash is all and all is one in Nagash.